Head of Corporations, Credit and Business Development at BEBA, Lamin SM Bojang, shares how the internet outage is affecting their operations and how risky it is to do their business transactions without access to the internet.
Actually, if you look at the operations of BEBA, it's purely based on internet. The business units that we have includes the payment of remittances, and this entirely depends on internet. The loans that we give also depend on internet. So basically, it's like the whole business is shut down, and you can continue processing these transactions, but it is gonna expose the institution to some risks, because passing transactions that do not pass through the system, it means a lot of risks. And in order to satisfy our customers, we try to do things, in another way around, which pose some risks. But actually, it has basically shut down our business. If it continues for a whole day, I'm not sure exactly how much, but it's huge. It's huge on a daily basis. If you look at the number of transactions that we do for remittances alone, it's huge. I may not be able to attach monetary value to it, but it's a lot.
Whilst it may be hard to put a monetary value on how much they could be losing, Head of Operations at Easy Financial Services, Jakaria Ba, said the impact of the internet outage will without a doubt dealt a heavy blow on the numbers. Ba added that the past hours at the office have been unproductive as their work, especially remittance services, rely heavily on the internet.
Actual work is nothing is working, actually, not because we deal more with transfers that you have. Obviously, you have to use the internet. You cannot pay people without the internet. You cannot even access your platform. So everything is on standstill, and then nothing is working. So we just sitting and then having sort of a business, meeting, but nothing much, definitely. Yeah, just hoping for the best. Just hoping for the best. It's really, really disturbing our business, because I can tell you, you might approximately you might lose $20,000 to $25,000, in a day, considering the number of products that we have and the number of customers that we engage in a day. You're talking about 300-400 customers a day. So if there's no internet, that means you have lost all that business. So it's a major concern, especially these past months. We've never experienced this before, or if we experience it, not frequently.
Meanwhile, at APS Microfinance, this is the situation.
This internet outrage has cost us a lot. Normally at this time, we were having a lot of customers from here up till downstairs. But today, because of this, customers will come and we keep on explaining the same thing: no internet, non-stop. So because of this, I haven't been able to work since morning, doing nothing here. It has affected the business in the sense that no income since morning. At this time, by this time, I'll be paying more than 1 million plus, but today I've paid none, zero. So that's totally affecting the business. We should be getting something by now.
Economist and political pundit Nyang Jai shares what this outage could cost the general economy.
These are troubling times because Gambia, whether we like it or not, we are players in the new economy, and the new economy is digitally driven. Therefore, internet connectivity is part of everyday life, and it's no longer a luxury, but a bare basic necessity of everyday life. The economy is adversely affected by this for three things. First and foremost, prices of internet in the Gambia is exorbitant. And this, to a point, reduces creativity, and it also reduces productivity, because we need internet to be productive. But, cross to that, and there's another aspect of it which impacts the economy directly and in real time. NAWEC, as a company, they generate power, and we all know that power cannot be stored. So once generated, people have to buy and consume it. And if they don't consume it, it becomes a waste to NAWEC. So for every hour that the internet is down, rest be assured, over 4,000 to 7,000 Gambians will not have the access to buy cash power. Therefore, that's lost revenue for NAWEC. And every hour, minimum, we can safely say that NAWEC will lose nothing less than $1.5 to $2 million of power in terms of people wanting to buy, particularly if the outage is at the peak hour or peak hours. So therefore, this is a loss to NAWEC. But NAWEC aside, financial transactions, banks. Banks make money through you storing money or saving it with them, and they charge you when you want to withdraw. Now, me and you, we cannot use ATM. So banks are losing revenue in terms of service charges. The economy is losing revenue because you cannot go to a restaurant and eat and pay with your card. You cannot go to the supermarket and buy stuff, pay with your card. So what's happening with all of this? The general economy suffers. And when the general economy suffers, everybody suffers because the taxman relies on the economy to do well so that they can collect. And you and I know too well that the Gambian budget is highly tax driven. But more so, I think it's time we take our data services seriously. And how can we do this? The government of the Gambia, through PURA, must agree that all internet service providers must have an SLA, a service level agreement. A service level agreement means if you happen to have a downtime, my economic loss must be paid for by the provider. This will ensure that the providers create what you call a redundancy or a backup plan. The long and short of this is we are being charged, and what we're being charged, we're not getting value for money because they're not having adequate redundancy plans, and because nowhere in the world you go, people only have primary internet. They have primary and they have another data line called in case something happens, and that's what we call redundancy. And in the Gambia, this is not taken seriously, and we are all collectively losing money as business participants in this economy. And it's not acceptable in 2021 that in less than 35 days we have 3 severe internet outages. The president of this republic missed a meeting with his fellow colleagues at ECOWAS because of our internet downtime. It's not acceptable, it's deplorable, and the Minister of Information and Communication needs to do something. If not, the president and this government must find a way to split the Ministry of Telecommunication and Information. Allow the spin doctor to be a spin doctor and do propaganda for the government, no problem. But technology is the driver for any economic gain or prosperity for any country. And we, as a country, are really not taking technology seriously. And technology is today punishing Gambia and is punishing us severely, and it's affecting our financial intermediation, it's affecting our economy, it's affecting the productivity and work output of the average Gambian worker. The problem is not the police, i.e. the service provider in this case, but the one who is supposed to be policing the police, PURA. See, we, the subscribers, are relying on the referee, PURA, to make sure that the GSM and other service providers play a fair play and also deal us, not a raw deal, but give us an equitable deal in terms of what we give them in terms of our financial resources and what they ought to give us back in terms of service provision. So PURA has failed, and PURA has failed significantly and woefully for the simple fact that PURA should always make sure that the redundancy plan of all these service providers is in check, it's tested, so that as and when Gambia needs it, we have a seamless transition from our main ace to their backup. But today, it's no civilized country will go 6, 8, 10, 12 hours without internet. So people who want to travel can't travel unless they have secondary backup through VSAT, which is expensive. And these are all add-on costs that will be sent back to the consumer. The government of the Gambia needs to take service provision, especially data service provision, seriously, because Gambia is a participant in the new economy, and the new economy is the digital economy.
Sadio Brito reporting.